Yo, guys, what's up? Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 194. Tonight on the cast is myself, Finto, and Alex, aka Zebrwolf. Tonight we're going to be talking about Daredevil Season 2, The Boys Season 4, or 5, sorry, The Boys Season 5, the final season, and the Season 4 series finale of Invincible. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on a replay, leave us a comment below, let us know what you think. And thank you if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple. Without further ado, here we go. Man, there's so much stuff going on that I'm mixing them up now. It's hard to keep track.
Season 4,
crazy.
Season 5. What do you do?
I know, like what season for what's what? I'm lost. How are you, man?
Hope not too bad. Yeah, week was busy. Just so busy, man. I haven't had a chance to really catch up on too much.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of stuff going on with with the new job and whatnot, trying to keep up with that, and getting into baseball, watching all that kind of shit. So like I said, man, like I'm all over the place and I'm trying to keep up. But there really is a ton of content, especially if you're into all kinds of other things, different games and whatnot. So like for the people who have been watching and being consistent, any of you that are like all caught up, like my hats to you, because like holy crap, it's a lot.
It's been tough,
so much going on.
It's been tough. Massive shout out to anybody who was here in the pre-chat. Dan, Griff, Kate, how are we, guys? Sorry we're late. I've had to kick the cast out a little bit just because as Alex is saying here, like there's not enough hours in the day, there's not enough hours in the week to get through all this stuff. I'm thankful Disney have like put the Maul show at least on a Monday. I'm like, okay, thank you. And my missus doesn't watch Invincible, so I kind of watch that one during my lunch break and work. So I'm not as kind of like, frantic at the very end of the day trying to catch up on it all. But even trying to just watch Daredevil and the boys before we go live is rough. Like it's tough. But it's all so good, I'm loving every minute of it. It's great. It's like I can't express how much I love it all. I know it's tough and it's all at the same time, so it's a little hectic, but I prefer to like obviously have it than not. I just wish it was a little bit more.
Too much rather than too little. I agree.
Like if Disney decided, okay, we'll do Maul on Mondays, Daredevil on Tuesdays, and then Boys is on a Wednesday and like Invincible on a Thursday or something like that. Like, I think between the two of them, or like between the two, like, Prime and Disney, I think they should be able to kind of realize what people are doing, like look at schedules and go, okay, look, they're going to do theirs on a Wednesday. Let's do ours on a Tuesday and just try and like own that day. Yeah, like, rather than just so many people like frantically jumping around trying to watch like Daredevil, trying to watch Invincible, trying to watch the boys all on the same day. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. I make it work, obviously. I want to be here. I want to be up to date. I want to talk to people. But like, if you're kind of have one foot in, one foot out, I can see why you would just be like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just wait and see what happens at the end. I'll just let it build up and watch it all later on. Griff is talking about Invincible here. Debbie's hands down my favorite character in the show. Debbie's been cool this season for sure. Like, what a badass move to kind of just jump the gun here and just go into a bit of Invincible before we kind of start. But yeah, like she was so cool in the last episode. Like, just like to know that like you're taking me with you. Like, we're going to see Oliver. Like, how's she gonna breathe in space?
That's the neat part. She doesn't have to.
But it's like he had to fly her up, right? But so again, look, it's not important. It's not important. I was just thinking, how's she gonna breathe on other planets? Because I've never seen anybody need like a breather or anything.
Probably Tech Jacket will provide anything that's needed.
Yeah, true. I was good. Yeah, that's probably a good shout. So obviously this week on the cast we have the latest episode of Daredevil season 2. I think there's a couple of episodes left of this season. The Boys, I think this week was only episode 3. I felt like The Boys has been going on a lot longer.
It's episode 4.
Oh, sorry, was it 4? Are you sure?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Invincible, this was episode 8, which is the finale of season 4. Season 5 is already confirmed as well. So yeah, a lot to talk about. Since the thumbnail is Daredevil, I'll kind of do a little bit of a kind of catch up for people who haven't seen it or want to talk about it first, and then we'll move on from there. I know you haven't seen it, so just kind of give a little spoilerish free review of the episode. Um, obviously off the back of last week's episode where we see Vanessa in hospital, and it was a really cool episode because they were doing loads of really good flashbacks and stuff like that. Like we got to see like Wesley back and all this sort of stuff. Unfortunately, at the end of the episode, she passes away, and Fisk is, you can just tell Fisk is about to snap. In this episode, we kind of see Fisk is, trying to deal with her death, and literally kills the doctor who gives him the bad news. Like like he literally bear hugs. His move where he bear hugs. He literally bear hugged the doctor who gave him the news, which was crazy. Um, and then his kind of cleanup man Ben just kind of cleans the place up, like, which is pretty cool. What's his name? Uh, James Gandolfini's son. I think his name is Michael. I think his name is Michael Gandolfini. I'm not sure. He's again just keeps getting better and better the more the show goes on.
I
He's kind of
mean, being from James Gandolfini, who's like one of the best actors I've ever seen. Like,
man,
holy crap.
Yeah, he's so good. And like The Sopranos is one of the greatest shows of all time. Like if there's anyone listening or watching this and they haven't seen Sopranos, get on it. It's absolutely incredible. That's one of those shows where they kind of paved the way for people rooting for the villain, rooting for the bad guy, and just making you like evil people. Like the show was just that good. He was just that good. I saw an interview recently with Bryan Cranston, and he was literally praising the show as well and saying like if there was no Tony Soprano, there would probably be no Walter White. Like he kind of paved the way.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, it was amazing, incredible show. The first couple of seasons I think are like, while they're quite good, they're very dated. I think the first season came out in like 1999, so it wasn't shot in HD or anything like that. So yeah, and you can kind of feel it now. I think like the latest remaster of it isn't the worst, but like I've been watching the show like pretty much since new, and like yeah, it was tough at the start. Like it was really, it felt very dated, and I can't stand Tony's mother. I hated her so much. So like when I do rewatches, I'm just like, oh no, she's alive. Like, and it's just like you have to kind of, I sit and wait for her to go, like, and because then I know the show gets really good after that. Like, but the show is just so incredible. But anyway, yeah, he's just phenomenal. Throughout the show, and he's kind of copping on to BB now that she's kind of the leak, and that's obviously getting quite intense because obviously he has feelings for her, but and now he's kind of fearing for his own life. But in the last episode, he had to go and bury a body, so like now he's kind of he's dirtied his hands, so now he kind of Fisk owns him pretty much. So now it's like now he's got to protect himself rather than just kind of be like I think before he was kind of tossing up the idea of just being like flipping on the mayor and thinking like whistleblower, whatever, it should be fine. Now he's got his hands dirty, and it's like, okay, I'm going down with the ship here now. So I think BB's probably done for, or Daredevil will probably protect her or something like that. I don't exactly know what's going to happen, but there was a cool fight scene in this week's episode between Kingpin and Daredevil. They kind of have this showdown, and it was kind of like Batman and Joker, like I need you, you need me. Without you, that sort of stuff. And
oh yeah,
it was a cool vibe. And Matt literally, because Karen says to Matt like you have to kill him. It's you or him. Like one of you have to go. And literally, Matt approaches him and just says, "Look, if you leave New York, I will. I know we can't like live without each other. We can't kind of do this. It's the same song and dance that Batman and the Joker have, like Joker and Batman need each other, and it's the same. It's the same with Daredevil and Kingpin. So I think Matt just kind of says, "Look, if I'll leave New York if you do," sort of thing. Like we can't finish each other. We're not going to kill each other. So let's just kind of walk away. A guys being guys moment. Yeah, for sure. Welcome in, random. Welcome in. But yeah, like I think the show's been great. This week's episode opens up with Jessica Jones. She's in her home taking care of her daughter, who's kind of like light skinned black. So I'm like, is that like a confirmation that Luke Cage is going to be the father? I don't know. They haven't really mentioned it, but I presume so. If we're putting two and two together, because it looks like she's got abilities as well, and I think she's kind of isn't he like invincible? Like his skin is like impenetrable or whatever. So there's a scene where like she's kind of walking around playing with like a grenade that's come through one of the windows, and she's kind of like just playing around with it as if it's a toy. So I think she's probably like invincible, just like him. And I just thought that was really cool, like just the lack of fear. And then like Jessica comes up, it's like, oh, you can't play with that or whatever, just after she's outside beating the shit out of an entire kind of task unit or whatever. It was a cool scene. But I think with what we've seen from the behind the scenes stuff, and kind of know that Luke Cage is coming in, and news only kind of hit the internet this week as well, that Luke Cage is going to be getting his own show, and also, I think they're looking at doing a Iron Fist thing as well. So it looks like the Defenders are going to start getting all their own stuff again, and we're probably going to see a Jessica Jones show too. So yeah, like it's. I think we're getting a full blown revival of the Defenders
Should be nice.
On Disney Plus. I think they're going to start kind of moving away from the likes of like trying to bring like the movie stars into TV, and I think they're going to kind of maybe try and replicate what the Netflix model was. It's like keep some heroes on TV and then like leave the big stars for the big screen sort of thing. I kind of feel like that's what they're trying to do, and it's kind of funny that Netflix already had it done. They had the whole thing there. They could have just picked it up and just continued on, but they've decided to reboot it and now just kind of basically go back to what worked. It's kind of funny when you think about it. Seems like y'all are Gotham experts. I read a lot of DC comics. I wouldn't. I'm afraid to call myself an expert now in case you ask me a question I don't know the answer to. But I like to think we know a good bit about DC and stuff like that.
More so Finto than I, though.
Yeah. Like we have our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Alex is the anime man. I'd be more into like DC and stuff like that. I read a good bit of DC comics, and big fan of like Batman, Green Arrow, all these sort of things. But yeah, like between all of us, like we kind of cover everything on this show. So if there's a kind of pop culture show that's on TV, like or a movie that comes out, we're usually talking about it. So, let's see. What happened to Thor's old hammer in Love and Thunder? Where does his old hammer not go back to him? Is that the one that
old
broke?
Hammer?
Is this Mjolnir that smashed and Jane started using it?
Yeah, I do recall that. That movie I don't recall that easily because I didn't like it.
That was a one and done for me for sure.
Yeah, I never came back to it.
Yeah, I think that was a story that they kind of told a lot better in the comic books, and there was apparently a cool scene that they shot, but they cut from the movie where you actually see her get the powers of Thor. Like she's kind of going up to Mjolnir, and she's all weak, and it looks like she's about to die, and then like the lightning strikes and the thing reforms, and she kind of gets the powers of Thor. And it's kind of weird that they didn't show that on screen, which I thought would have been a really cool scene to see. But I had heard that Natalie Portman and Christian Bale said that some of their best work did not make it to the final cut of that film, which is shocking when you think about it.
No, because they had to bring in the goats, the screaming goats, and basically make the whole thing kind of a shit show, a funny fest. And I mean, like at that point, I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. You do what you got to do there, guys.
Yeah, you try to make the fun, happy kids show instead of an actual Marvel movie.
Yeah. No, Taika just went off the rails.
Hey, well, I mean, he's very much a father, and he essentially wants to make the funny stuff and make the kids laugh, and like I'm all for that. But like when you sacrifice story for laughter, it's like, oh God, please. Yeah. You did really good in Ragnarok. Everybody loved Ragnarok because it was actual story that needed to come to fruition. It came full circle for the Infinity Wars. It really helped take off that initial part for Infinity War as well, because it was like right at the end of that movie is the beginning of Infinity War, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So it was very connective. I know that Love and Thunder is also technically connected because it's like in the aftermath of things, but I mean, no, like it's really hard for people to care when nothing's really going on in New Asgard. Like it's just like, no, people live there. The Asgardians that once lived on, old Asgard are now over here and they're enjoying a carnival. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Got some questions. Yeah, shout them out at us. I'm gonna obviously talk about this week's content and stuff as well. But yeah, feel free to post stuff in the chat or leave comments below if you're listening to us on a replay. I'm always happy to go back and read them afterwards as well. So, um, kind of just to go back into Daredevil a bit as well. Obviously the episode ends with kind of all out war on the streets of New York popping off, and people are kind of uprising against Fisk and stuff like that now as well. So it looks like Daredevil's crew, like the Resistance crew, have pumped out some kind of videos of people talking about getting arrested and thrown into the camps and stuff like that. And I think it's all going to pop off now. And there was a scene as well where the governor is talking to who I believe is going to become the mayor after Fisk. Because we see her in the trailer for Spider-Man and she's handing Peter the key to the city. So like, it's like, I kind of wish that trailer didn't show that, because like we kind of now know that something's going to happen to Fisk, I hope he doesn't die, but whether he, just reverts back to being the kingpin and going into the criminal underground, rather than trying to be in the spotlight and trying to, pretend to be the good guy. I'd say he's going to just flip and go full evil. Obviously Vanessa's gone now, so he has nothing kind of centering him, nothing holding him back. So he's gonna go fucking ape shit. Like, and that fight scene between him and Daredevil was pretty sweet as well. Like, there was some really cool choreography in it and everything as well. So I'd say there'll be a really cool fight as well with him and Dex, because he's obviously out for Dex's head now, because Dex is the one who killed Vanessa. So and then the very last thing that happens in the episode this week as well is Karen's out in the middle of the riots and stuff, and then she ends up losing one of her wigs, and someone from the task force is just like, it's Karen fucking Page, and it just hits credits. Like, you're like, oh god. So now Matt's gonna have to go in and rescue her now as well. Like, it's so funny. Who won in Infinity Wars before it started Avengers? The upper power Thanos or Loki? Are you talking about the comic? Is this a comic book question, or are we talking about the movies here?
Well, Infinity Wars is the movie.
Well, like,
if we're talking about
the movie, obviously the end of Infinity War is Thanos snapping his fingers and he wins, and then half the world is gone. The comic, I didn't read the comic. So
if you're asking for the comic, that's going to be a little bit harder of a thing to go through. Like,
you're talking about the Infinity Gauntlet run, I presume.
Yeah, and like, I understand for some of the people that are coming in, if you're big on comics, that's great. Love it. I'll try to be a little more open about reading the comics, but like, as far as we know, like, we're kind of brief on the comics. We're more into the movies themselves. If I try to kind of refresh my memory on some of the things that happened to compare between the comics and the movies.
You do have good comic lore, to be fair.
Yeah,
you probably have a better comic lore of Marvel than I do, like especially Hulk and stuff like that.
Well, I never really read too much in the Infinity Gauntlet saga, and I know that there's like tons of characters that we don't really see in the movies themselves, and the outcome is different, and the reason for like Thanos's crusade in the sense is a lot different compared to what we see in the movies, where Thanos is essentially trying to get people to understand that, like, cutting the entire universe's population in half will like end like hunger, all that kind of stuff, and basically wars and such, because now there's resources for all. And so when people watch that movie, a lot of the times they're gonna think that Thanos is potentially right, but that's not how the universe works. So that's kind of the whole idea behind the heroes wanting to fight back, because it's like, well, you don't get to make that choice. It should be essentially our own as people who live in this universe. And As far as I remember in the comics, don't quote me on it completely, but he's just trying to court death at that point. Like
Yeah,
he's like, how
he
do I
does it
get
to
you to?
impress her, isn't it? Lady Death.
Yeah, and it's essentially like, look, I can totally like make the entire universe like be cut in half, which is a snap of the finger if I just had the all the Infinity Stones.
Hmm. Yeah, it's funny.
And
I saw a funny meme where it was just like, why would you not just click your fingers and double the resources of the universe? Then you don't have to kill anyone.
it's much more exciting, I guess, to just
Yeah.
go to have a villain go like, I'm killing half of the universe essentially.
Yeah, yeah. Here's twice the food, guys. It's all good. Twice the money. That's funny, man. It's funny.
Yeah,
I do need to read it. I bought a paperback of the Infinity Gauntlet. I just haven't got around to reading it yet. Yeah, I don't know. Again, Marvel wise, like I read a bit of Spider Man, but I don't really read much else. Marvel comics wise, whereas I read a good bit more DC. Although I'm
did you
probably a year behind on
did
single
you
issues. Like I
ever
haven't caught up.
did you ever finish Secret Invasion?
I have one issue left of Secret Invasion. I still
Okay.
haven't finished it. I will finish that the next time I have some time off work. I think we're going away. We're doing like a little staycation in Ireland at the end of May,
Hmm.
and um, I'll probably bring a few books with me just to kind of read while I'm away. But I'll have the two
Nice.
kids. We'll have the kids with me, so I probably won't be much of a won't have much time to sit around reading comics. I wouldn't say, but I'm gonna
That's
try.
fair.
I'm gonna
I
try.
like I still need
I
to
loved it
finish
though.
up. I don't know if it's completed or not, but I need to keep chugging along with Moon Knight 2021.
Hmm.
That's a really good series so far. I think it's really interesting. It's it's kind of like a different, like when you compare it to the show, and you're like hoping to see some vampires at some point, or even werewolf by night at some point. Like it's just kind of cool that they did their own spin in in the show. It's kind of sad that they haven't really talked about going further, maybe moving him um to the US and having him create his own oh my god, I can't remember what the name of the organization he makes or whatnot, but basically he gets a vampire as a secretary, because like there's some vampires that are good and then others that are just straight up eating, like sucking the blood out of people. And so he takes down those guys, whereas opposed to like the lady who's just like, hey man, I got turned, I didn't want to get into any trouble, so I figured I'd just help you out and just stay low. So it's pretty cool. You meet both the like I can't remember if Moon Knight is the left or right fist of Khonshu, but there is an alternate fist, which I can't remember his name. But basically, the symbol is, I think, a full moon instead of a crescent moon. So it's really cool. I haven't read it in a long time, so I'm just kind of taking bits and pieces from it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I know there's a Spider-Man run as well that I would like to read. I mean, I remember you recommended that to me for a while. Um,
Oh God, what did I recommend to you?
I know there was like a Spider-Man and Moon Knight crossover event or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Do you want to talk about the boys or do you want to talk about Invincible or something?
We can talk about the boys.
Okay. Did you saw this week's episode?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got finished watching it there just literally before we went live.
That's good.
It's okay. And like I don't say this in a negative way really or anything, but it's probably the worst show of the week for me. Um like it's good. Like I'm finding it interesting. It's a little slow for the final season, I think. If I'm being honest, like this week's episode, it was kind of cool with the kind of rage shit in the air and stuff like, and the joke about it being The Last of Us and all. That's just Walking Dead
Mhm.
with mushrooms and all. That was funny. And like I don't know, like the back and forth between Homelander and Soldier Boy is good, but at the same time, it's like it feels like it's dragging out a tiny bit. Like especially considering there's probably what 4 episodes left or something like that. Like, there's not a lot left. Like the show's wrapping up. So, I like the idea of him with the God complex and stuff like that. And they're trying to create like a democratic church of America or whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Mhm.
Sounds insane. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like, well, I suppose just got to keep watching and see what happens. But it's definitely interesting for sure. Um, what do you think? Like, are you liking it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think I do feel like our tastes in like setups are different. So like while you say that it wasn't like the strongest episode for this week, I think it was pretty damn close. I would say it's a good strong feeling. I know I haven't watched like caught up on Daredevil yet, but as far as I know, like I'm more interested in watching The Boys than watching Daredevil right now. Like I love Vincent D'Onofrio. Charlie Cox doing a great job as Matt Murdock, and but like it's just this perspective of these different characters in The Boys that are just trying. They're trying every which way now because they're like, well, we gotta fucking kill him before he gets this V1 in him and becomes like immune essentially.
Mhm.
Um, and immortal, which would mean that he would just rule over the earth like forever in the sense, or just
Yeah.
age so goddamn slow that it wouldn't even matter. Um, I think that the banter between Homelander and Soldier Boy was like honestly perfect because the idea that he was more interested in like kind of reuniting with his father, even though his father didn't really care for him and call him a bitch and a pussy in a sense, and this whole perspective of like, well, I'm going to become a god and no one can stop me, and then even going as far as like trying to find certain ways to get on Soldier Boy's nerves, which like eventually it did in some cases.
Mhm.
But like it's so funny to me how Homelander will try his best not to like really dig up any dirt until they kind of like push this point of like, all right, I'm sick of your shit. I need to knock you down a peg so that you're below me now. And even with that, Soldier Boy is just still pretty resistant for the most part, and I think it worked well. The fungi like kind of situation. I forgot the dude's name, but like the dude that was on the wall, like essentially manipulating everyone's like minds
Oh
to
yeah,
becoming more like
yeah.
angry at each other and give people shit. And then Frenchie's like, "Well, I took a load of drugs and mushrooms and shit like in my earlier years." So they're like, "Oh,
He's
okay, so then
immune.
you're just immune."
Yeah. That's probably like realistic. Like that would probably happen. Like you obviously build up a tolerance over the years, and he's been
Oh
such a
yeah,
fucking junkie over the years that yeah, that shit just wouldn't affect him.
which
Hilarious.
is it's such a funny situation because like out of all the people, like Frenchie, and I think it's kind of interesting how like they were, the effects were essentially tapping into like their id or their psyche essentially, and going like, okay, well, this is what this person is so afraid of, or this is what this person is like pissed off at this other person for. Like Kimiko, I think was I can totally understand like how she could feel like she's being watched all the time. But
Mhm.
like clearly Huey was like having some shit going on, and so he's dealing with all that kind of stuff. And Kimiko's was just being a comfort, and Frenchie was just trying to figure out like what the fuck was that about? Like, is he all right? Like, and she's like, oh, it's nothing. So then it's like, okay, well now you're withholding things. So like, of course you're gonna get all pissy thinking that he's gonna be on like he's on your ass.
Mhm.
But all the shit, all the dirt that they keep like throwing at each other during the time was like awesome. I thought that was great. And then I forgot what the outro music, or not the outro music, but like the van music. I forgot what that was. Oh, it was Mambo number 5.
Yeah, yeah. Butcher's good for some old classic early 2000s tunes and stuff, and
Yep.
late 90s shit. Yeah, that was cool. It was funny. Um, I like again. I'm not saying that it was a bad episode. I just feel like it's moved a bit slow for with how many episodes there are left. Like this episode would have worked perfectly fine, like in the middle of last season when there was just lots of story left to tell. Like it would have been nice to
Mhm.
meet Starlight's family like previously, rather than like at the very end of the show.
Mhm.
It just kind of feels like a little too late or something, you know?
I guess I could see that, but it's kind of like a last hurrah kind of situation, or like a last meeting. They who knows who's going to die at this point? Like
Yeah,
but people will die. We just don't know who yet.
yeah.
Um,
Kripke's been very like loud online talking about how he thinks like a lot of people aren't going to like the ending and stuff, and that just worries me that he's like out there saying that stuff like, because it's like, okay, obviously he's made a bit of a like a divisive finale, and I think there's some what that means. I don't know. Does Homelander win in the end? Does like Huey die? Like just like Frenchie die. I don't know. Like some fan favorites are probably going to die, which is why he
mhm,
would say something like that, or else it's not going to get the end that you think. Like I don't see the show ending with Homelander dying. Like I just don't see that happening. Like, and maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe a lot of people are like hoping that Butcher and the boys win at the very end, and then it's all over. But I don't know. I just don't see the show ending like that.
mhm.
And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing, because the show's meant to be, you know, different. It's meant to be kind of soaked in realism, and someone like that probably wouldn't die in the end. It's in the real world, like So it's like I don't think they're going for the fairy tale end, and I think maybe that's what he's talking about. But yeah, again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Um, but like again, I am loving it. Like there isn't a bad episode of TV on right now that I'm watching anyway, and you know, very grateful for that fact, because like Disney have always been kind of shaky with the TV stuff, and some of the like Gen V stuff wasn't fantastic, and the boys. A lot of people were saying the boys is starting to slip as well, like with season 4 and stuff. So I'm just thankful it's still good and I'm still enjoying it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as a show moves forward, it will slowly but surely deteriorate depending on like how you decide to take its sources.
Hmm.
And having what's currently available, mixing it with what's modern, can make or break the show in the sense like we see so much of this political stuff going on, like religious, political, like left right stuff. I'm not gonna get like into it or anything, but like the all that kind of stuff can get really what's the word?
Exhausting.
Yeah, I would say exhausting. It gets to a point where like if you're starting to put it in shows, it becomes apparent like yes, we're aware that the writers know that political shit is going on. you know um PC shit is going on. It's the term woke is always happening, and a lot of the terms that we've heard in the past are starting to die down and the new ones are coming up. So I get it. You want to get with the times, and you want to make sure that everybody's kind of up to speed. But when you like throw it in people's faces, it can get a little, daunting, can get a little annoying.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's bad for the TV. It's just why did you need this information to be in the show itself? Like, was it necessary? Is it something that will contribute to what's going on? And to be honest, I think that they did a pretty good job of actually getting it down. Because it's not like super in your face. Anytime you see Firecracker, you're absolutely going to get like a shotgun of like religious stuff. And you see the guys in the background who like make the movies and whatnot, and they're trying to write new stories and new shows and new things for the Seven to work with. And then you see what's her name? Is it Oracle? No, not Oracle.
Sage.
Sage. Thank you. You see her in the background basically doing all the political shit,
Mhm.
trying to get higher ups to like calm down on certain things that they say or things that they stand out or stand for, politics wise. And I think it's cool. Like, it's a background thing that you do. You kind of showcase it a bit and then you let it go. That's where I think it kind of shines. But like, I think the show is doing a good job of just keeping it internal and
Mhm.
just having these characters that you like to have these introspectives, and maybe there's a little bit of stuff here and there that they could probably do without. Like I think that the sex scenes um in the episodes were kind of like, I think we're past that point now. I think we can kind of like put that to rest.
Mm.
Kind of give maybe give a tongue-in-cheek kind of perspective, and be like, yep, they totally did it. But other than that, I really don't care.
Well, I know there's a scene coming up with Jared with Jensen, where he said he had to walk off the set because it was the worst thing he's like ever seen on film, and like
Yeah.
the worst thing he's ever been a part of. So like, I'm curious to see what that's going to be, because like, his first season in the show, they had him doing some pretty fucked up shit. Like, and um, I think being on the set is probably a little different to watching it as an end user. I think it's be like behind the cameras. I think it's probably not as serious. Whereas if he's like kind of saying like, "Oh, guys, I don't know if I can do this," sort of thing, like it must be very bad, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I'd be curious to see what that's going to be. Again, I think you're right. Like I think this show especially, like they do a lot of shock value stuff, and while that's fine, it's not the part of the show that I enjoy. Like I don't come to the show to you know, see that stuff. Like I don't really care. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. It's a secondary thing for me now at this stage. Like at the start, it was kind of funny, and obviously the gore is it's all like great. It's good to see and all, but like I just think it's gotten overplayed a bit. Like it's like let's just tell the story and get out, sort of thing now at this stage.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like I'm curious to see what this scene is that nearly made Jensen walk off. But I'm guessing it's going to be something like horrendous. Like, so I don't know if it's going to be over the top or needed, but I'm curious, I suppose.
Mhm.
But again, we don't need it. Like, like what's your one's name? Who's like the president now? Where she's like, she's got the two heads or whatever. Like she's
Oh,
got
the
like the thing in the back
VP,
of her head. Yeah, the
Ashley.
VP Ashley. Yeah, like they're kind of like very much like over sexualizing her this season. It's a bit strange. Like I don't know where it's coming from. Like
Well,
it's weird.
it came from the previous season when we like. Well, honestly, it started popping up over time.
So it's just like when
Because
she got her powers, like she just became like overly sexual, like maybe just overly confident or something. I don't know.
I
It's
mean, it
she used to be
depends on
afraid of
which.
her own shadow, like
I guess it depends on what you mean by that, because like she was clearly a freak. When it came to doing that kind of stuff.
I suppose
She
she did she ride the director of the Seven movies in the bathroom or something in one of the early seasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
And then
just
she essentially like was in the was it the BDSM room?
sorry. Yeah, I do remember that as well. Yeah,
Yeah. So like it's not something new. It's just put out even further and further.
yeah, yeah.
Um
True.
and it's fine. Like it's not anything that I like that I don't mind, cuz like we hardly ever see Ashley.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, we know that she's kind of crazy and she likes to be dominating and whatnot, because she can't when she's dealing with the seven. So now that she's at a point where she can at least be dominating over some soups, especially like the dude that she had to marry for like political and religious reasons. Like I think that's kind of cool. Like, and it shows like kind of this background situation. It almost gives like a thought of like, is this what the writers think that's going on, like in religious backgrounds? Like, do you think that they do that kind of shit? Because like that's what
Oh,
I was
100%.
thinking.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And like Kripke himself is kind of like laughing about a lot of the stuff that's in this show, especially in this season. A lot of the stuff that's in the show, and like that's kind of mirroring what's kind of happening in real life as well. He's kind of like, it's kind of like the whole Simpsons thing, like where they predicted stuff that like, because again, like they would have like written and shot. They probably would have written this series maybe like 2 years ago, and then they would have obviously shot it months ago. And like some of the
Mhm.
stuff that's like some of the stuff feels very like relevant to what's going on now in the world, and it's kind of like, Jesus, like did they like how the fuck did they do this? Like this is
Mhm.
kind of weird. Like it's kind of scary. It kind of feels like South Park or something. Like where they'll like write the next episode like the week after the last one airs or whatever. Like it's
Mhm.
so that's how they stay so current. Like but it kind of nearly feels like that like a lot of the time. And yeah, it's just mad. It's just mad. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't really have a horse in the race when it comes to the whole political thing. So I'm just a viewer from the outside. I view the actual politics of the United States like the politics in the show. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines, just kind of going like, oh, okay.
Okay, I guess
You know,
this is happening in the real world.
it's insane, man. Like the whole thing is fucking nuts. And as an outsider looking in, it's just it's bizarre. You know,
Mhm.
it's yeah. I just want nothing to do with it. Obviously, some of it trickles down into the rest of the world. Unfortunately, we all have to deal with it. But yeah, for the most part, I don't I want nothing to do with either side of it. Like, and in this show, it's kind of like oh, like are we like are they on purpose referencing this stuff, or is it just a happy coincidence that it's happening? Like, it's like I kind of see enough of it in the real world. I don't really want to be watching it in the show either. So I think it's
Yeah,
just I do truly think it's kind of a happy coincidence that a lot of it's happening, and it's just it is what it is. And like Daredevil's kind of doing the same thing as well. Like I don't know who said it, but someone has said like like the whole like anti-task force thing is meant to be ice and all this shit. Like, and um the Fisk and Trump have a lot of like commonalities and stuff like that. Like, and it's kind of like, yeah, do we need that? Like, probably not. Let's just tell the Marvel story, please. I don't need
yeah,
any references to the real world. We get to watch all that stuff in real life, so fuck that. Like, please just give us entertainment.
absolutely. Like it's very tongue in cheek, and I'm not against it. Just understand, like, just take it, like, do it once, do it twice, maybe, but like, don't make it the normal.
Do you think there's people out there that like are kind of like, oh, fuck this show, like they're kind of like and getting offended by it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Do
I mean,
you think maybe that's what
there's
Crypt he's talking about? Like when he's kind of talking about like how he's like, oh, I think a lot of people aren't gonna like it. Like, do you think like people will just be getting like ultra offended in real life and maybe
I
like
mean,
taking it a little too serious?
it's possible that like he might be aiming towards that, but I think it's more so that he doesn't think people will like the deaths that are going to be coming. He doesn't, which makes it sound like some of the people that people some of excuse me, some of the characters that people are very fond of may die,
Yeah.
and that's going to make a
Who
lot of people upset.
who is that like for you?
Who is that?
Like
Oh,
who
probably
would that be for you?
for me,
Yeah, like if like who would be the person that you want to die in the show the least?
the least.
Yeah, like who do you not want to see go? Like who makes it to the end in your perfect ending? Like who do you want to see live?
Probably just Kimiko.
Really?
Yeah, because
Fuck the
there.
rest.
Well, because like Kimiko was experimented on. She was given the drug. She didn't want any of this, and she kind of became part of the team and was able to learn to speak again, and which is kind of nice. And you know, but like she doesn't deserve to die, in my opinion.
She's had a tough lap, as they say. Yeah, she's had a
Yeah,
tough go of it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. She's definitely, and like I really enjoy her character, and like the fact that she's like pretty much invincible now as well is kind of really cool. Like the fact that she can kind of like just regrow herself like Deadpool or whatever. It's kind of
yeah.
funny. It's really cool. Um, yeah, I don't think we're seeing enough of her, to be honest. I think we should be seeing more. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's not a lot of people who I like love in the show and would like. I'm kind of expecting Butcher to die. I'm kind of expecting. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think if Huey died, I wouldn't really care either. I'd kind of be like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't really see that happen. Like I thought he'd make it till the end. He's kind of the good guy, and he's kind of the person we've been following the most, or like
Hmm.
to begin with, anyway. And yeah, again, Starlight and stuff. Like if she got like her head taken off, like I just be like, oh wow. Anyway, I just wouldn't really care. And the same with like MM as well. Like he's cool and all, but if he has to go, he has to go, sort of thing. Like and I'm not very like emotionally attached to a lot of these guys. Um. So yeah, I don't
MM, I
know.
would say, is a good candidate to stay alive, though. Like he really, like, I get why he wanted to do all this. I think he's been trying to get out of it for so long, and there's just no
Yeah.
way to getting out of it at this point, and it's not viable for him. Most likely he's gonna be gone, but like,
I think in a Disney story, he makes it to the end and he actually kills Soldier Boy and gets his revenge and avenges his family and all that sort of stuff.
mhm.
In this, it's probably going to be the other way around. And I actually, I said to myself, after in this week's episode, after Homelander gets locked in the vault or whatever, I was like, because we like go to like MM in the next scene, and I was like, I would not be surprised if fucking uh Soldier Boy walks around the corner here and just like tears fucking MM apart. Like, that just wouldn't
Mhm.
surprise me at all, because that's the kind of show that we're dealing with, like, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. And that's probably realistic as well. This dude, we now know, is literally immortal. He can't die. So MM is not gonna get his finish, like that. He, the fairy tale ending. Like, I don't think that's gonna happen for him. So, MM going makes a lot of sense, and I just I kind of hope for his sake that it's not by Soldier Boy, because that would just be
Mhm.
such a spit on the grave, like, like, whereas if it's someone else like Homelander or someone else in the Seven or something, that might be a bit better. But
I think the
it's probably
hope
gonna be
for
him.
it, yeah, more than likely. But I think the hope is, I guess, like if I were to hope for anything, I would hope that at the least MM is able to get Soldier Boy to be in a situation where he is fucked for life and has to live with that for the rest of his life. Well, like, kind of like a last hurrah, whatever the fuck he like MM can do, gives him
I
the
just,
middle
I just
finger, and then MM passes away.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, is it even possible to kill Soldier Boy? Like, I don't even think it
No,
is.
no, not kill him. Just
Yeah,
fucking just ruin his life to where he can, what if you made it so that he can never regrow his dick or something?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Or like
that would be the worst.
Homelander like flies him up into space and just leaves him up there. Like, is that the only way you get rid of him? Like,
I mean, possibly, but like even I don't think Homelander would ever do that though. Like I
yeah,
really think this is more of an MM thing that's going to happen, if anything,
yeah,
just so that he can get his revenge.
yeah. Um, yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens next. Let's talk about Invincible. The season finale was today. What did you think?
I mean, it was a perfect way to end the season. I think it was an amazing setup for what's to come, and I think that um, the the way everything is kind of like moving forward and how all the different characters are kind of like growing or changing really sets in motion kind of like a question mark. It's like, well, what do you want them to do? Like what choice do we have at this point, like with certain
Viltrumites, do you mean?
not with just the Viltrumites, but like with even with Alan,
Yeah.
the whole situation where Alan is kind of told like, hey, here's the perfected scourge virus.
Kill them all.
Yeah, if I'm dead, go kill them, but like anybody that's even has a remote resemblance to the genes of Viltrumites can die, which kind of makes me wonder, like, I can't remember, doesn't Alan have some sort of experimentation done on him that kind of has that bit of gene work?
I thought, and again, I've only seen the show the one time, but I thought Alan was half Viltrumite himself or something.
I
Or
can't
what?
remember
Some
entirely.
something He has something to do. He has history with the Viltrumites for sure.
Right.
I can't really remember. If Dan is listening to us now, he'll probably be able to answer that for us. He's the Invincible expert here. But yeah, like, do you think like the entire human race is at risk, or is it
No,
just anybody who mixes with Viltrumite? So like the likes of Mark and Oliver are gone, all of the rest of the Viltrumites, and that's it. Like, because as terrible as this sounds, it seems like a bit of a no brainer. Like, these planet of like Supermen are hell bent on, like, taking over the galaxy. So you
mhm.
got to get rid of them. Like, I'm sorry, like, you got to get rid of them.
Well, and I mean,
Alan is
I don't.
upgraded, but is he upgraded with Viltrumite blood or something like that? Like, because I remember when you first meet him, he is like super strong, and isn't he fighting Nolan at the start or something? And it's like, he's pretty much can take on Nolan, because I thought I remembered that he was like, he had Viltrumite in him or some shit. I don't really remember.
I can't remember too well, but I just know that Alan gets stronger every time he's brought to like the damn near brink of death.
Yeah.
He's essentially a Saiyan.
What's the
Uh,
Battle Beast as well? He's cool. He's really cool. So yes,
Apparently they did Battle Beast dirty and compared to the comics. I think he had much more combat like going on, and like more, it was a lot bloodier with Battle Beast.
there was a Battle Beast comic book that released there a couple of months ago, and I picked up like all the copies of it. Like, so there was like 3 different variants of it, and one of them is like
Oh, you didn't even leave anything for anyone?
I know, like I get them pre-ordered for me,
Just
like
kidding.
I'm not taking them off the shelf. But my comic book shop order all like whatever I want. I give them a list and they just get it for me, which is great. But it's like wrapped in plastic. I'll dig it out for the next podcast and I'll show it on screen. But it's such a cool cover, man. Like it's really cool. So it's in like this red bag, and the bag kind of looks like blood and all. It's fucking sick. It's really, really cool. He's a modified hybrid now. Interesting. Yeah, so like I presume, yeah, like at the Alan is then probably, if he releases that virus, gonna kill himself. But like, would he have to, like, do you just release it and it just spreads across the universe, or does he have to take it like a bomb and throw it at in Earth, or who knows?
From
I don't know.
from what I remember, it is airborne.
Hmm. But like, can he just open the vial and it's like, okay, it's gonna spread everywhere, or does he have to actually go and throw it in like Thrag's face?
No, I think you just put it into the atmosphere, and I think you're good to go. It just depends on what you're trying to attack. And so the idea from Thaddeus is that like this virus will kill anything that is Viltrumite, and anything that can essentially like coexist or procreate with Viltrumite.
So that's humans then.
Humans, Thraxans, and then anything else. But like, is it Thraxans or Thraxians? I can't remember.
I don't know. I loved like Mark's PTSD and stuff. I thought that was really cool. Very sad, like the stuff with Eve as well. I was so confused at the start because, again, I don't know what the story is like, but and I don't know if she got an abortion in the comics or not. But the fact that, when Mark gets back to Earth, I was like, oh, okay, so she's a bit bigger. But I was like, oh, maybe he's not gone that long. And then you find out that she had she aborted. And I was like, oh shit, so that was very sad. But then, like, it's like, obviously she's like put on weight or whatever like that, and I thought maybe she was like just still in early stages of pregnancy or something like that. So it's the same in the comics. Okay, thank you, Dan. Yeah, sad story, man. I like, as a parent myself, I hate hearing stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you say? I did not like that Mark apologized for even. Yeah. Like, it's. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I understand why he apologized, because he had to go, but at the same time, he didn't know.
Well, I think, yeah, he just apologized for like not being there for her. I think you could tell by his reaction that he probably didn't want her to do that, but at the same time, it's like, has to respect her decision, and obviously apologize for not being there to maybe help her, and maybe it would have been a different outcome if he was there. Like, like that's something that would have to be weighing on your mind forever after that. Like, so
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I presume, and again, I don't know this, but I presume that they probably do have some kids down the line. Who knows? Because, like, I don't know, like, do you think like Eve changes with the DNA in her or something like that? Like, again, I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here, but like maybe if she gives birth to a Viltrumite, it kind of gives her immortality as well or something like that, because she would have Viltrumite DNA in her then.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, sure.
She's already immortal.
Oh, okay. Well, then that answers that question for me, because I was thinking like it'd be actually really sad if Mark and potentially a couple of little mini Marks live forever and then she just dies, because she's not immortal.
I'm fairly certain, if I recall, she is very much immortal. So
yeah.
When she got massively destroyed by Conquest, she was even though she was on the verge of death, she would have essentially reconstructed over time.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was cool. I forgot about that.
So
that's epic.
they're kind of like, it's kind of Mark and Eve are kind of a perfect match in the sense of like genes. So like genetic wise, like they work well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say about that episode? I've been seeing loads of funny memes about like how useless Oliver is and stuff like that. I think they're hilarious, but I always feel sorry for the kid. Like, but to be fair, he does kind of like he's like way too cocky, you know, for his boots. Like, you know, thinking like he's like, yeah, why is everybody so afraid of this Trag guy? And then it like cuts to him chopping his arm off and stuff. And it's like, for that reason, sir. You know, it's like, yeah.
Well,
It's funny,
I think it's his
Oliver got
Straxon
a
genes. Yeah. I think it's his other alien genes that are basically okay with death because he never seems to be afraid to die.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
I
more
think that's pretty
stupidity,
cool.
though. It's cool, but it's stupid at the same time.
Oh my god, hold on. Yeah, Mariners win.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck?
It was the bottom of the ninth, dude. I've been like staring at the guy, like I've been hearing and listening, and then I have it on the screen. So my bad.
That's hilarious.
We were
early
up
for a
by
game
one.
over there, no?
Yeah, they it's a matinee at like 1:10. Sorry, my
weird.
bad. Like so like while we're talking, I'm like watching the game.
No, it's fine. I don't like doesn't bother me, but it's just weird that there be a game on that early on it, like a Thursday afternoon, like.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm not only talking to you. I'm watching the game and I'm playing a video game at the same time. So like,
Hey, bro, you need to get checked.
oh, dude, I don't have ADHD. I've already checked. Yeah, I've already got it checked.
That's funny, man.
I'm always like they said that I'm always just seeking a challenge, and that I get bored if I don't have any like hard work to do.
Fair. Do you have anything else you want to talk about Invincible wise, or would we move on?
Just it's going to be interesting to see what Lucan and Craig do. A lot of people have already spoiled like what Anissa does. So if you haven't been spoiled on that, good on you. It's gonna be quite an interesting situation.
I think I did see something about it. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of memes about her becoming obsessed with Mark and stuff. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, because essentially like
Conquest, and she's like, oh, she's impressed by him.
Yeah. So then she's like, well, you literally possess genes that I would want.
Yeah. I've seen some shit. Yeah.
Well, like I've seen some comments too on how the idea behind the Viltrumites. It's like, why can't the Viltrumites repopulate on their own? It's like because they don't have enough people to change the DNA strands that would like essentially come about. There'd be a lot of like inbreeding at that point, and it's like it's not enough.
Yeah. And like, I wonder, do like the female Viltrumites, like, would they make stronger? Like, if they actually carry children themselves, would they be stronger than like the men just spreading the seed around? You know?
I mean, I don't know about that. My only thought is that because there's only 50 of them, there's like a lot 34. Of inbreeding.
There's like 34 of them.
Yeah, now that it's less. Oh my god.
Yeah, like there's like, how many women are there? Like fucking 4. You know?
Yeah, and so there's not enough to really
like filter out. Like again, they can't do any like purebloods or whatever. Like there's very few of them that can pop out. I would presume, right. And again, this might sound a bit weird, but I would, if I was Thrag, if I was Thrag, right? I'd be, what's the female one's name again?
Anissa?
Yeah, I'd be like pumping kids out of her, like, because they'd be pure
and then you'd
blood.
have inbreds.
Yeah, but you want to get pure blooded Viltrumites because I presume they'd be more powerful than half breeds, right?
Yeah, but then they'd have defects, and I think that's why they don't do it.
Nah, it'd be fine. Like,
dude, it's like, why do you think
an extra arm is only going to help in battle, man? It's like,
why do you think royalty died so hard later on? Like in real life, why do you think royalty is so gone?
True.
Because of all the stupid inbreeding that they did. They didn't think to like try to make other types of DNA strands. They were just like, no, we got to breed within our line because our line is so strong. And then they just slowly died out because they had too pure a blood and they were catching disease like it was nothing.
One gen in, you'll be good.
One
It's kind of what happens, right? You go back far enough, everyone's like fourth cousins or whatever, like, you know. So
to be fair, I would say
we're related, man.
Possibly, yeah, of course. But like
have to be somewhere.
In some cases, but I don't know how delicate that is in terms of our species, because I would think that at the least we are much smarter than that, and there's so much diversity nowadays that it's like it doesn't even matter because our DNA strands are probably like so diverse now that like if like I'm not condoning to this, but like if you
have fucking thousands of years to do that though, right?
Right. So with the people that are compatible, like humans and Thraxans, you could totally do that and then come back to each other and just kind of like repopulate the Viltrumite Empire.
Yeah, I think I'd be looking to try and get some pure bloods out there if I could.
Yeah, you would.
I think so. I think it'd be more of a challenge or something. I don't know.
Just you know humans exist and they're compatible. You know Thraxans exist and they're compatible. Just go with them.
But like, is there like a Viltrumite family tree? Like, can you actually like Thrag and Alyssa or whatever her name is? Like, is there lore on like who they are like in the Empire? Because like from the flashbacks that we saw, right, there was an entire Viltrumite planet, right? So the likelihood of Thrag being related to her is very low, like extremely low. So they could easily pump out a few kids and then maybe wait a couple of generations. Like, you're not going to get their kids to like fuck each other, obviously. You know what I mean? Like, they let them go out and do half-blooding for a while, and then you get more like
right. But it's the
like,
idea that you're putting that in. It's the thought that you're putting that into that idea into the minds of the next generation. Like, oh shit, we're related way closer than before. Is that okay? I guess it's okay. Let's just do it again. Again, this is royalty shit. Like you're redoing the whole thing.
Yeah.
In the sense that like they're going to be fine, but it's not. You have to have enough diversity. And because so many of them are gone, that's why they haven't tried yet. Because they know it's not going to come out well.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I totally get it. You want to keep that pure Viltrumite blood going, but like, is it really worth?
When there's 34 of them, I would definitely try and be doing that. At least to, like, let's say there's 4 women left, like, get like 5 kids out of like, even if it's just by the one father or whatever, like, pump as many kids out of her as you can. Like, could she make kids for hundreds of years?
Yeah, like, I would think so. Right?
I mean, I presume they don't, like, their appearance doesn't, like, they don't age that much, right?
Well, so, and like, I would assume
what's her fertile window like? Is it 1,000 years?
It's probably forever.
Yeah, she can pump out. Yeah, that's it. Like, be like, sorry, you've got some work to do for the Empire.
Yeah, but she's also massively powerful. There's no way it's going to be that kind of situation.
She'd be kicking ass while she's doing it, for sure. The Hills voice. Anyway, let's move on. I just say that I'd be trying to do something like that.
I know you would.
Yeah. No, I just think it's. I think purebloods are would be how they win this war. The current situation in the show. I'd have to reevaluate the plan a couple of 100 years down the road, like, but for the Empire.
Some of you may have 6 toes. Some of you may have like worms in your stomach all the time because you're
one Viltrumite toe could probably kill anything in the universe. So an extra
no, if anything, we know that it's
power,
this thing.
More power.
It's this movement.
Yeah,
that's all they need. Is that chopping
they
movement?
Can punch as hard as they want, and it's fine. But the second they make the little hand thing, it's like all bets are off.
Like someone's gonna die.
Yeah, no, but it's like their fist can't go through the chest, but your finger can. It doesn't make any sense, but it's funny.
So weird.
I love it, man. Yeah, it's like when it's a Viltrum Boy fight on it, you see them change to this. It's so funny, man.
It's over.
I love the internet, man. The internet is so funny. Like I love all the memes, man. They're
Uh,
just brilliant. Um, before we go for the eve, I might just talk a little bit about the Maul show. 2 more episodes out this week. I really like how they're doing this show. Like they're releasing it like 2 at a time, and it's flowing really nice. And the finale's going to be on May the 4th. You know, Star Wars Day. It's kind of like stars aligning shit. Like it's really really good. This week's episodes were like pretty fucking great. Like episode 5 was a bit of a filler, more so kind of story about like a kind of detective who you're kind of following. I didn't mind it. The episode was fine, nothing wrong with it. But you know, some people were kind of like, a bit of a filler, a bit slow. You know, not really,
mhm.
not a lot, not enough Maul. Which you know, fair enough. You're entitled to that opinion. Episode 6 though comes around and like, do you remember in the Ahsoka show the dude who's the Inquisitor who like turned into dust? His name was Marok. He had like the kind of he had like a kind of medieval mask on. Do you remember this guy?
Yeah.
He's in this show. Like this show takes place obviously before the Ahsoka show, so he's actually alive in this show.
Hmm.
So you know the kind of presumption is going to be that Maul actually kills him, and then he gets brought back to life with like the dark sister magic or whatever. But in this show, he's going around the planet looking for Maul, and they end up having like 2 like pretty cool fights in this episode, and just seeing like the 2 of them because obviously they both have like double-sided red lightsabers. It was sick, man. It was really, really cool. There was a really cool scene as well where like Maul was getting like prepped for the fight, and you know you see him kind of doing some martial arts and stuff like that, and kind of meditation and stuff, and it was just sick to watch him flipping around and all. It looked like Ray Park, who played him in the movies. It looked like his combat and like his flips and all that sort of stuff. Like so, it was really, really cool. It was kind of like a little homage to Ray Park, which was sick. Really, really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, man, the
Oh
show's
yeah.
so cool. Like it feels like it's kind of made cheaply, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but like the way all the backgrounds are, they look like kind of like watercolor paintings and stuff, and it's just so unique. I think like it's really cool. And then like you'll be kind of looking at a pan out of like a what looks like a painting, and then you'll see like a ship flying through, and then it just kind of comes to life, and it's the animation style is just so fucking cool. Like I really, really, really love it. And the story's great. You know, like basically there's a robot who's like the partner to the main guy that we're following, and his name is Lawson, and basically he the robot basically just follows a protocol, and it's like, okay, oh god, there's like a Jedi here or whatever. So he calls the Empire, and the Empire have come in, so they're sending the Inquisitors. I presume what's probably going to happen again. It's probably a little too obvious what's coming, but my guess is that in the next episode, I would say Maul is going to kill Marok, the Inquisitor, and then either the Grand Inquisitor is going to come in or Vader is going to come in, and there's going to be a big crazy showdown between Vader and Maul. Which, you know, if you're into the prequels and stuff like that is like years coming for Anakin, like, and Vader. You know, Anakin in his like training was obsessed with Maul, and he always wanted to beat Maul better than Obi-Wan did to prove that he was the better swordsman and stuff like that. Like, so a fight between like Vader and Maul would just be absolutely fucking epic. You know, like
Hmm.
that's something the Star Wars nerds have wanted for years. You know, like it's been built up in comics and books and the Clone Wars and everything like that. Like, you know, it's epic. So yeah, I would love to see that. Love it. You gotta check the show out, man. It's actually, out of the 6 episodes that have been on so far, like I would say it's fucking 9 out of 10 across the board. Like, you know, it's great. It's really, really good.
That's really good.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fantastic. So yeah, big recommend for me. Are you watching anything else, or any recommendations, any movies, anything like that? Any other news you want to talk about before we break for the week?
Just little bits of burn notice, man. But like I said, I'm watching a lot of sports.
Yeah. Do you watch The Pit?
No, I
Great
watched
show.
like an episode and then never came back to it.
Oh man, it's so good. So good. I was late to the party, so I had like all of season 1 and half of season 2 to kind of binge like straight away. And then I got caught up to the week by week, and it just finished last Friday. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's fantastic. It's really, really good. Sad to see it gone now because I'm gonna have to wait like 9 months for the next episode, so it sucks. But I suppose that's one thing off the giant list that is TV in April. Trying to think what else am I watching. I gotta be watching From, says BB. Yeah, I saw season 4 just started. I have the first 2 seasons there, so I will try and watch it. Probably not going to be till next week at the stage now, if I'm being honest. But um, obviously Invincible's off my list now. The Pit is off the list. I'm trying to watch that Task show on HBO Max with Mark Ruffalo. I think it's pretty short. It hasn't been great, but it's kind of just something for myself and herself to watch when we have an hour or two to ourselves. But yeah, I do kind of want to check out From. I watched the trailer with her, and she was kind of like, "Nah, it kind of looks like all those other kind of psychological, kind of horror thrillery things, like where it's like we don't know what's going on, we got to figure it out, and it's got like a paranormal twist to it or whatever, or a supernaturally kind of twist to it." I'm down to check it out. I've heard it's pretty good, and it's like I checked the IMDb rating on it. It's like a 7.8 or something, which is fine for TV, like especially after 4 seasons. So yeah, I will check it out at some point. I will. I'll let you know, BB, when I do watch it. I presume the first probably 2 seasons are probably the better ones anyway. It's kind of how TV works. They get the best writers in to do the scripts and everything like that, and put the most effort into the first few seasons, and then when the fan base builds up, then they kind of drop off, and the second tier writers come in, and budget starts going elsewhere, and the show kind of dips. But we'll see. Griff says From is dope. Cool. Yeah, it's got a few recommendations. I've seen a few people giving it the high praise, so I am down to check it out for sure. Guys, might leave it there for the week. Appreciate anybody who's listening to us live. Thank you so much if you were in the chat taking part. If you're watching us on a replay, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or anything like that, there's a comment section there. You can leave us comments below if you want. I'll read them, and leave a like on the video and all that beautiful stuff. And we'll see you next week. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.